My name is Michelle Casalio, and I'm the owner of the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. We're here in Dallas, Texas. I like to say that the Oddities and Curiosities Expo is for lovers of the strange and unusual. We host vendors from all over the country with all things weird. A lot of people come because they're like, what am I going to see there? You know, what type of weird stuff am I going to see at a place called the Oddities and Curiosities Expo? We really try to have something weird for everyone here though, so someone can come and buy taxidermy or skulls or bones, or they can come and get stickers or, you know, creepy Halloween prints, stuff like that.
We got here at 8:30 this morning. We're the first ones in line. We have been coming to this show since it wasn't even in Dallas. It started in 2017 and it was in Austin. And we drove down to Austin just for this show. And it has just exploded ever since then. I mean, there were maybe a few thousand people at that show. So it's gotten a lot bigger.
This is our third year coming here, my third year coming here. I'm always on the lookout for bones specifically for my artwork. I'm a student at Texas Women's University and I've been doing a lot of experimentation with bones and I need a supply. And
odd things, curiosities, it makes interesting conversation pieces. I got this wind chime. I love the antique little butter knives. I love the coyote skull and the bones. I just love it.
It's taboo. It's interesting. It's cool. So I've got a bison skull. What really sold me on it is the point of death right here. Just goes with the rest of our skulls that we have at home.
And we got shadow boxes. I got bats and butterflies. Definitely need to add a scorpion to the mix.
So
you gotta get a little bit of fur while you're out here too, you know. Coyote tail.
My favorite part is the skulls, pretty much. As you can see, I love skulls. And just seeing the preservation of animals is just beautiful. And I love to see it and try to grab some so I can take them home.
I think that oddities are interesting to a lot of people because it's something that is a cross between real and the unknown. It's something that we have in this world, like we have these bones and the taxidermy and stuff. It's something that you don't see every day, but it's here every day. I got this little taxidermy box thing. This is real cool. It comes with a little gator paw and this itty bitty little bee, which I absolutely love.
These are actual genuine porcupine needles. When I was pulling this out, I accidentally poked myself and I had a devil of a time trying to get it out.
And I couldn't walk away from the tiny, I think this is a beaver foot.
I still love anything that's different or unique. We've been collecting for a number of years now, so our house is very interesting to see.
We're all curators. So when somebody comes into your home, you've curated your environment to be the expression of the story of your life. So when you find, say, one of my sculptures, for example, and it really speaks to you, that says as much about you as it does about me. So when you take it home, it's your sculpture now. It's your story now, and it's part of how you present yourself to the people in your life.
Step right up for the freak show, the creep show, the crazy clown show.
So outside of the vendors, we always have stage performers performing all throughout the day. They're performing classic sideshow stunts like swallowing swords, walking on glass. We have a traveling museum with us that's just rare, one-of-a-kind, kind of like oddities and artifacts. And then depending on the city, we have different performances like suspension, and then we always have a taxidermy class.
Suspension is putting hooks or giltins through the skin and hanging from it. It's a little bit different than shibari, which is rope suspension, where there's no piercing of the flesh. Human suspension is literally like hanging from your flesh.
Pierced on site, we pierce it right before every time you go up. You'll suspend from it and then they're removed. So it's a very temporary piercing just for this aspect.
I am interested in taxidermy because I have found out that it is very pricey. You can sell these animals for a lot of money. And so that's why I was curious to start learning how, and I found that the Oddity Expo offered the class, and I was excited to join. They have taught us today how to make the inside of the body for a rabbit. So we have made a head, and we've attached legs, and now we are sewing it up. I mean, taxidermy is giving it another life, so because it gets to live in your home forever. Yeah, I saw a skunk online that sold for $600, a taxidermied skunk, and I said I need to do that.
I think people gravitate towards oddities and curiosities because we as humans, we want to learn and we want to explore, and There's something very satisfying about being the person who gravitates towards things that other people shy away from.
So over the years, we've sold a lot of odd things. Taxidermy, bats, human skulls, a lot of paintings that were strange, all kinds of weird stuff. Benny Jack Antiques is a store with art, antiques, a lot of odd stuff you would find for your home to make it a unique place to live. We have decorators who decorate for clients' homes and also hotels, restaurants, and we also have people who just have bought their new home and they want to decorate. They want that one unique piece that nobody else has. And we also have other antique dealers. We all buy from each other, which is fun. Well, when I started working at an antique store, I wanted to go more into depth of, it's not just decorative stuff, more fun, like something that appealed more to me, stuff you wouldn't find too often. When your work is also your hobby, it doesn't feel like work at all, you know, because even if I go on vacation, I'm going to go to find out what antique store is going to be around and, you know, go looking for antiques or go looking for strange items. It's just the life. Taxidermy is interesting to people who collect oddities because it was once a beautiful thing that was alive and now preserved to be enjoyed as art almost. And I guess it's pretty strange. You don't see that often in people's houses. So here are some few odd items I'd like to show you if you don't mind. This is a grave vault, like for a coffin. You put that in there. And it's to keep your coffin safe from the elements. But this is just a salesman sample. They'd probably have these at the funeral home to try to sell. And then they would show it going down and keeping your coffin protected. Usually they'd fill this full of water, and sometimes they'd have a candle lit inside to show that the water doesn't pierce through. And when they raise it back up, the candle would still be lit. Even though it's still perforated and everything, it's still cool. And we also have human skulls. They're more for some reason with all the teeth. One of the more odd pieces in our shop is a Fiji mermaid. A lot of times you'll have these at sideshows, carnivals, you know, pay 5 cents to see a half man, half fish. This one's more unique because the artist put so much more detail in it than regular ones. Or ones you might see. This one's made out of real fish parts. Even the teeth are real fish teeth. And all the skin's real fish skin. The hands right here, fish parts. It's very well done. They paid attention to detail on this one. So these items you won't find every day in an antique store. It's a articulated real human finger. These things sell like crazy. You wouldn't believe how many people love these things. So here's some of the taxidermy. A lot of people who collect oddities and weird stuff usually head for the taxidermy. They're bigger, crazier pieces to add in your collection. Stuff you don't see every day in a house. Even the bad taxidermy. This is one of the more morbid items we have here. It is a embalming table, or a morgue table. It's very cool, moves. The hydraulic works. And then one of my favorite things is it tilts. So the blood drains in this little drain down here that's built in. This would be great as a kitchen island. A lot of people ask me about my watch chain that I wear. I collect watch fobs, and I just keep on adding them to the chain. Back in a long time ago, people would, just maybe have one on their chain, but I'm a collector and I just keep on collecting. And we have an antique watch that's at the end, so the watch doesn't go anywhere, the chains hold it in. This is from the 1870s, gold watch. I asked my mentor, he wore a pocket watch every day with a chain, and I asked him if it would be okay if I could turn my necklace into a watch chain, and if he would be okay with that, and he said yes. He didn't mind me copying, I guess, his style. So I really appreciate that. So this chain right here was probably the first chain I had, and now I have a few. Every day I wear a watch and a watch chain and a vest. I like weird things, but I'm not the only one in the family who likes weird things.
My name is Gretchen Hinkle, and I am the owner of Dolly Python here in Dallas, Texas. Dolly Python is a vintage clothing store. It's an antique store. We sell a little bit of everything. Vintage clothing, we sell cowboy boots, costume jewelry, odds and ends. There's no two things in here that are alike. And everything in here is basically based on nostalgia. A lot of people come in here and see things that their grandmother may have had in their kitchen or in their bedroom.
I'm holding an armadillo with a cactus behind it, and it's secretly a bottle.
A flask?
Yeah, I guess a flask. It looks like it had alcohol in it because there's a seal.
It's pretty odd.
It is.
Some of the odd things in here, there's old Western hats that are beat up. There's, human teeth jewelry. Everything in here has a prior life.
Why do you think someone would want to buy that?
I think if you're a history buff, because if you would know about the companies or if they have any local connection, which they might, it could be really interesting. I don't know anything about barbed wire though. Someone's dad out there wants this in his house or his man cave. You can't top that.
It's not the norm. You go to the mall or you go out in the suburbs and everything looks exactly the same. And I think people, they're looking for something different. Just like with the expo, they want to see something different. It's entertainment, I do believe. A lot of it is. It's curiosity, it's entertainment. This shop's set up where you really can spend a couple hours in here, and kill some time.
You don't know what you're gonna get, which is nice. I was drawn to this when I walked over, which is a bird lamp, because you're not gonna find it in a regular store, but it's fun. And then you have something fun and colorful and unique in your home.
There's a whole subculture to taxidermy that has risen to popularity in the last decade or so. It's an old art form, whether it be a bearskin rug or it be, deer mount, a bobcat. There's a taxidermist in every small town. I started working at a vintage clothing store in high school. And that's kind of how I got started with this. I just knew I was going to open a store one day. I had a business plan. I had 2 business partners. My 2 business partners backed out on me the day I was supposed to go sign the lease. So I went in and I signed it anyway. And I got back in my car and I was driving down 75 and I lost it. Because I'm like, what did I just do? I was like, can I do this? My neon sign out front, I spent a lot of money on that. And I knew if I spent a lot of money on that and I had to hire somebody, a cherry picker, to put that thing up there, and I was like, that I'm going to make this work. That was 17 years ago, and I'm still in business.
You have paid your dues. We're seeing a lot of positivity.
A lot of people will come in and say, did you see that? I've just based my beliefs of the paranormal in here from what I've experienced. That's the only thing I can go by. Things fly off the walls, They'll set the cameras off in the middle of the night, and then we'll catch some footage. I have not doctored or altered or done any of that. I just have basic motion sensor cameras.
I was here locking up alone. I had just turned on off the back lights of the further part of our store, and I saw a little kid, like 7 or 8, in 50s clothes, run past through here. I was wondering, where are your parents? So I go around the corner, no one's there, and I could hear the footsteps. Another thing that's actually been a reoccurring phenomenon with this specific spot, we've had multiple TVs up there, multiple radios, and they will pick up signals from like radios, and you will hear, much like those paranormal voice devices, you'll hear clips of people talking and they'll form sentences. And I remember I was opening one morning and I just heard, like, come from that, like out of the static, like it broke enough for someone to say, please leave. We've heard a lot about a lady, you hear a woman's voice say your name over in the clothing area, especially back by the dressing rooms. And you get so many items through the doors that even have their own attachments, because of course these are old things and they were treasured. And it's not only like an energy, but there's these memories, and people hold on really tight to those items. So we're not only dealing with our resident spirits, but also the ones that come in and out with our items.
I don't mind ghosts. I don't try to get rid of them. I'm perfectly okay with them being here. When they're negative and when it affects other people, then we try to, sage them. I want to show you something really cool that we just got in our store. This is it's a piece of folk art. It probably goes back to the 1920s, 1930s, possibly 40s. It is basically what it is it's a memorial piece. Somebody would have had this made and constructed, carved. It's an actual photo that's been kind of made into a 3D sculpture, so to speak. They've taken the photo and applied it to a wood backing, carved it, made it their own, and the rest of this is painted. And it is a lot of times it's a memorial piece, so it'll be either a deceased relative or some type of family member. A lot of times you'll see these will be maybe a wedding photo, or it'll be a photo of somebody that served in the military. But this is a lot of people find these valuable because they collect them, and as a collection, we don't know the names of these people a lot of times. Sometimes the names will be written on the back of the actual person, but they make a beautiful collection for somebody that is interested in collecting these items. So here's another item that people come in and that have been quite popular with us. We have an artist here that will resource human teeth from dentists and other places that she finds resources human teeth from. She takes them and incorporates them into jewelry that you can actually wear. So she makes rings that are set in sterling silver, and they're usually done on vintage mounts. These little pins, these little sweater pins, she's taken and incorporated human teeth with them. These pins are probably from the 1940s, 1950s, and she's just redone them and hung little human teeth off of them. And these are some sort of vermin paw that she's taken and turned into earrings, and those are quite popular with us. And these are also canine fangs that she's taken and made into jewelry and earrings as well. So this particular vendor here at our shop, she has learned the art form of taxidermy herself. She will take and resource and repurpose animals that she actually finds that are recently deceased, whether that be roadkill or whatever. If the animal has recently been deceased, she'll take the animal, she'll put it in her freezer, or she'll just take it and sit down with it and taxidermy it. And this is one that she just did recently within the last week. It's a little opossum. And she was able to salvage the body and make it into a piece of taxidermy for somebody to enjoy. She is a no-kill taxidermist. She finds animals that are already deceased. If you like this stuff...
If you like this stuff...
Wait till you see our collection.
You see our collection at home.
Hi, welcome to our home, and we'd love to show you some of our cool stuff.
Well, this is a couple of Santos pieces, wood carved. This is Saint Sebastian. You can see it's tied to a tree, shot with arrows, just like the story. This is a marionette puppet, which is Frankenstein. Pretty cool. Wood carved. Here are a pair of candlesticks I really love. These are one of my favorite items. Art Nouveau. You can see this bird is taking care of its babies, the mother bird. And then when she flies the nest, here comes the rat to eat the babies. Yeah, so sad. Before I bought these, I got this. I had the idea of making this piece, and you can see it has kind of the same concept of the rat going up and going to eat the eggs. Yes, it's a real skull with a real rat, real baby rat, real bird, and real eggs, real bird's nest. And this is an old watch holder. It's probably from the mid-1800s. It's gold gilt bronze on a marble base. It's French, depicting the devil holding, and he has a little hook right here that will hold your watch. A long time ago, you'd have to put your watch somewhere, and this would be a good place to put it. Then over here we have the Siamese lambs. These are a carnival sideshow. Usually had to pay like a nickel or dime to get in to see these magnificently conjoined lambs. You want to tell him more about these lambs?
Yeah, they're natural. They were born in this state. They lived for probably 3 to 4 minutes, and then they passed away. And he had the foresight to have them stuffed, and this is the actual plaque. And they're from the 1940s, 1950s, and this just kind of explains where they came from.
I have these 2 spike pieces, which are like fraternal initiation pieces, where they would show you the real spikes and tell the person that they're going to push you off onto them. And then in reality, there's another one that's plastic spikes, and you would end up actually stepping on the plastic spikes, which wouldn't hurt you.
So it's kind of a trickery mind game.
Hoodwinked or...
Hoodwinked, yeah, that's a good word for it.
These are probably from the 1920s, 1910s, between there.
So this piece, this Medusa piece, is one of my favorite pieces, and I've had it for a while. She's custom made. She's made out of paper mache, I'm thinking, in wood. And she's probably from the 1900s, and she's probably used in a theater or some sort of cabaret. And you know, it's just one of those things that I didn't need and couldn't afford at the time, but I had to have it. So I didn't eat, I just bought that.
We could live on antiques.
We could live on antiques, yes.
Who needs food? Well, I love these French Majolica urns right here with the Medusa too. They kind of go with that Medusa on the wall. You see the snakes and the Medusa head, probably late 1800s, French. It's Palisade or Majolica. Very cool pieces. So right here we have these automaton birds. They're real birds, which are pretty rare, and these are great. They're all clock workings, and for the whistle, they actually use bellows rather than any kind of battery operated whistling. So you wind it up, and then here you go, the beaks move, heads move. They have a little wear and tear, but when you're that old, you can. Oh, these are late 1800s. These are French. Then we have this altar boy. I put a samurai warrior mask on them, but these were put around in the back of churches to put donations in. You just put it in there, and then they'd empty them. This one probably looks like it's been looted because it's been busted in the back. I have only seen one other one of these, and this is the other one I've seen. And this one is not an altar boy, but a starving little boy. He needs to be helped for famine. It's from the Oxford Committee. And so this one's kind of funny because when I was younger, I saw it and I fell in love with it, but I did not have the funds to buy it at the time. And then somebody did come in and buy it, and I forgot who bought it, and it left my life for a long time. And then somehow I ended up renting to a lady who I knew, and she bought it, and she had gotten tired of it, and she decided to sell it in my store, and I just had to have it. It came back.
It came full circle, and that was a happy day for Benny.
Happy day.
Came home, you will not believe what just happened. Because he had told me about that for many years.
And I had scoured the internet, and I looked at every antique show. I didn't find another. That was the only one that came close to it. And I found that, later on. But yeah, these are the only two I know about.
Reunited. We could show you 100 other things.
But we just don't have the time. I'm sorry, we gotta go. I know I said we're out of time, but I have one more thing. This is the car I drive around in. So just a 1999 hearse that I just have fun driving around in. It's a good old car. I usually always have a load in there, and yeah, kids will be kids. And we always carry around stuff good for ice chest or whatnot, whatever you need it for. And it has rollers, makes it easy. But that's that. Okay, now I'm really out of time. Get out of here. Y'all have fun. Now go!